In 8 years of helping busy men get ripped, I've discovered many so-called healthy diet foods that can be secretly sabotaging your fat loss efforts. So in this video, I will break down these 8 popular weight loss foods you should avoid if you want to get and stay lean. Now, many people think this first food is a great option because they're easy to grab when you're in a rush. They're marketed as being full of whole grains, fiber, and healthy fats, which makes it sound perfect if you're busy and you just have to grab something on the go. But the fact is, one little nut bar at only 30 to 40 grams a serve can pack up to 200 calories because they contain high amounts of fat and often even more sugar. The problem is they will not fill you up or contribute much to your daily protein intake targets, even if you ate 2 of them, which is very easy to do. So instead, you will get better protein value and reduced sugar spikes to feel more satisfied if you were to replace a nut bar with a snack like beef jerky or just a legitimate high protein bar. This second food is similar to the first one, which is also often said to be a healthy diet snack, but it's something that you could easily have at your desk or in the car or pretty much anywhere, which makes it very easy to snack on and overconsume. And the data says otherwise, because at only 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces, this trail mix could be up to a whopping 450 calories, which comes mostly from fat content and like hidden sugars from dried fruit inside of these trail nut mixes. Again, it's not filling, it's very little protein, and these mixes often have more salt and sodium in them, which makes us want to eat or drink something else. So overall, it's a lot of hidden calories in something that's supposed to be healthy, but can easily lead to us over-consuming it and blowing up our calorie budget. Now, this next food is a little bit tricky because they can be packed with vitamins and minerals. However, for losing body fat, they don't really help out. 1 cup of this liquid can be well over 100 calories, and that's without any added sugars. And I'm talking about fruit juice. Sure, they can be refreshing and tasty to drink, but liquid just does not fill us up, and there is practically no protein in these fruit juices. They also digest fast because it is just condensed fruit sugar, basically, which may give us like a kick of energy quickly, but can also lead to a crash, making us more peckish and wanting to eat something else. This is why juice is rated as a high GI on the glycemic index. So instead, I would recommend just swapping out juices for the actual fruit. Surprisingly, the real fruit is lower GI and higher on the satiation index, meaning it breaks down longer and keeps us fuller for longer without blowing up the calories. For example, apples, grapes, oranges, and berries. And this next food has become quite a gimmick these days because they seem like a healthy snack being made from vegetables. However, this snack can pack up to 500 calories at only 100 gram serving. Very small amount of food for a lot of calories spent. And that's because these veggie chips, despite being vegetables or processed vegetables, are typically fried in fats and include a bunch of other ingredients to make them edible. So the calories that you would spend to eat them and the effect of the satiation you get wouldn't be much different from just eating regular potato chips. So instead, another option that can be a better spend of your calorie budget and keep you fuller for longer is to swap it out for some popcorn that's not covered in butter, or even like roasted chickpeas, for example. Or you can simply just opt for pure protein, like boiled eggs or sliced meat. Now, food number 5. This next one is misleading because it looks, sounds, and tastes like it's healthy, but they're not filling, and they can pack a high dose of sugar for a very small dose of food. They also have a very high GI score, meaning they digest quickly and spike your blood sugar, potentially leading to a crash later. I'm talking about dried fruit. The issue is all the water is removed from the fruit, which concentrates the sugar, but reduces the size and the satiation effect, which is what makes it so easy to like eat more and more and more of it, because it's not very filling. And then we blow up our calorie budget because we just ate a bunch of fruit sugar that has basically just been fruit condensed down to a tiny version of the same fruit without all the water content. So again, this is why it's better just to eat real fruit that's fresh and in season, that's gonna taste great, that will have more water content and be lower on the GI scale and higher on the satiation score. Or you could simply just add more vegetables to your meals to bulk them out for a very low calorie spend. Even if it's like frozen vegetables in the freezer, pop them in the microwave and steam them, can easily bulk out a meal that's going to fill you up for a very small amount of calories. Moving on to our next food, which is heavily marketed as super healthy, and you'll see why in a sec. Problem is it often packs a bunch of hidden sugars, despite the very small but bigly marketed probiotic effect that's allegedly healthy for the gut. However, the problem with these flavored yogurts is they're often very low in protein, which is why it's better to focus on other options of yogurt, say like Greek yogurt, which is relatively higher in protein, much lower in sugar. And because it's plain, you can add your own foods to it and make it into more of a meal that's going to be more filling for longer, like adding in some oats, some real fruit, or any other kind of thing that you would like to add to it. You can even add protein powder to it, which will increase the protein intake for a very low amount of calorie spend. And that'll help increase your total daily protein intake, which is a problem for a lot of busy guys who just don't have a lot of time to think about nutrition and aren't getting enough protein in their diet. And this kind of customized protein bowl can make a great pre or post-workout snack, which is something a bunch of my clients like to do as well. Even a post-dinner healthy dessert. And speaking of bowls, food number 7, I couldn't not mention this super popular superfood. This one is often promoted as like some special Amazonian rainforest superfood that's loaded with antioxidants that will cure and heal every problem in your life. However, any cafe or like restaurant that sells these acai bowls often load them up to the rim with seeds, nuts, sugary granola, coconut flakes, dried fruits, honey, and whatever else they can jam in there. It's just this glorified, massive, sugary, fat-loaded bowl disguised as a superfood that's actually just a bowl of dessert with very, very little protein for a huge calorie cost. Now, these bowls can seem quite big and filling for a short period of time, but again, a lot of it is like fruits and a lot of calorie spend for a bowl that's not really going to fill you up for very long or contribute much to your daily protein intake. Sure, in moderation, tasty snack or dessert, it's all okay. However, this type of food is not going to work well consistently in your diet that's meant to be keeping you burning off fat long term so that you can get ripped and lean and maintain it. What can work better though is your own customized like protein smoothie. That way you can control how much protein powder you want to put in. Maybe you want to put in like a banana or a little bit of oats and kind of bulk it out so it's like a more of a filling smoothie, but not blown up with sugars and fats that you would get in an acai bowl, which isn't going to do you any favors. Something that's worked really well for me for many years is just making a like low fat, high protein smoothie with a reasonable amount of like blueberries, banana, maybe a little bit of cacao powder. It keeps the calories lower than what you would expect and will kind of fill you up for at least maybe 3 to 4 hours. And now maybe the most controversial food of the whole list, which has also got me into potential arguments with a lot of people, because for some reason people think that because this food is healthy that it doesn't matter how much they consume of it, which is kind of like maxing out a credit card and pretending that the debt just doesn't exist. And now this is a healthy liquid, it's not bad. However, it is pure fat. It's not filling at all. It is extremely easy to overconsume it and not actually notice it in the foods that you're eating, which could be blowing up your calorie budget without you even knowing. It's often hidden in plain sight right in front of us and we can't always see it, especially in meals like salads, roast vegetables, roast potatoes, sauces, chimichurri, different condiments that we like to eat. And I promise you, cafes and restaurants will not hold back on this because it makes everything taste so much better, especially when you add heaps of this liquid and salt or butter or something else to it. I'm talking about olive oil. Just one tiny little teaspoon is a whopping 120 calories. That is crazy. So what looks like a little drizzle over your salad or roast vegetables, if you are not careful, could be hundreds of added calories to your meal without you even noticing it. So we have to avoid going overboard with olive oil and be careful to consume it in low doses. The best way to do that is to use a spray oil. That way you can control the portion and keep it minimal, or simply just use a small teaspoon. But many foods don't really need oil. You can cook on a barbecue without oil, you can cook in an air fryer or an oven without oil, you can steam and roast your vegetables with very little oil. And by doing that, you're going to cut back and save on a lot of calories that you can spend on actual food that will fill you up, like protein and carbohydrates. And by doing that, by eating more real food, it'll keep you energized and satiated while your body is in a fat loss mode so that you don't feel starved and you don't feel deprived. You can push yourself in your workouts, get stronger, build more muscle, and week to week see your physique progressively changing over time without feeling like you're on some stupid strict diet that you know you can never maintain for much longer than a couple of months. And that really is the key to getting and staying lean. Avoiding these foods will help, but you also need to mostly eat the right foods to keep your body fat in a fat loss mode, meaning that your metabolism is burning off more fat than what you're eating, so that you continue to shed body fat long term and maintain a lean muscle tone shape. But the truth is, when you've got your nutrition system dialed in and when you are consistently burning body fat week after week without feeling starved or deprived, you can still enjoy some of the foods that we just covered in this video and it won't ruin your progress. But there are other foods that you should, and I highly recommend, you include in your diet to make losing body fat easier long term. Foods that will fill you up, help you build and maintain more muscle, and keep you energized day after day as you're going through your busy life or needing to do progressively more difficult sessions that are going to change and reshape your physique. And I can walk you through each of these foods that you should be eating in your fat loss diet in this video right here. Go check it out. And if you're looking for a simple process to start shedding more body fat this week without sacrificing more work and family time, without starving yourself or missing out on business lunches and family dinners, my Business Body Blueprint has got you covered and you can implement it easily into your schedule. To learn more, tap the link in the description and you can see how you can start shedding more body fat this week.